Tonight's the night for football, everybody. The bright lights are on, the stage is set, and the crowd is ready. It's Monday Night Primetime on EA Sports. Straight ahead with a nationwide audience tuning in, it's a Monday Night Primetime showdown between the Detroit Lions and the Baltimore Ravens. Both teams riding 2-0 starts here. We'll get the turkey and move to 3-0 as week 3 gets underway. That's going to be taken in at the 8. He spins right by him. This makes it up to the 25. Are going to use the first of their timeouts. And after using an early one, 2 left for him to spend. All right, let's get this one on the road, Brock. It is 1st and 10. Here's Derrick Henry getting it on the ground. Dropped by the first guy he met. No gain on that first down run.
So close to a big loss of yards for those guys up front. 1 second sooner, they got a tackle behind the line, but a stop to celebrate nonetheless.
First down run netted him nothing. Here is 2nd and 10. Lamar now from the gun. Complete to Derrick Henry. And it's good yardage, but they tackle him short of the sticks.
Rhythm. You hear me talk about rhythm a lot. Whether it's a golf swing, a baseball swing, heck, even a bowler gets himself into rhythm. And I'm just telling you, kid, from experience, these little throws to running backs, it's one of the best things to get your offense into rhythm and a nice little gain on top of it.
Third down, 1 yard to go. Zone read, they'll hand off to Henry. And the run will not work. He is stopped at the line. This is going to be 4th and short.
It's weird to say, and it certainly won't show up on the stat sheet, but I want to give a lot of credit to that runner. Even though it didn't gain a yard, it actually took a heck of an effort just to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Timeout taken by Baltimore. It's 2nd. And after burning a couple early, they're down to 1 to work with now. Fourth down punt upcoming, and here's Presley Harvin to put his leg into it. And I imagine they were hoping they wouldn't need to bring him out so soon into this game. Only needed once last week in the win, and he matches that total here. And that hit right at the 10. Somehow, though, got a wicked bounce and makes it into the end zone for a touchback. First call here coming from the shotgun.
Cut. Like 20.
Goff taking it right to the air. That's caught. Here comes Jahmyr Gibbs. He's forced out of bounds after a gain of about 4 there. Second down.
Kate, I don't know why every once in a while I'll get these little flashbacks, but a little play like that just flashes me back to the preseason, my first preseason. But one of the veteran QBs said, hey, Brock, whatever you do, just find completions. You will never go broke taking a profit. Go get a completion or at a premium in this league.
And he is stopped as he reaches that 46-yard line. They got 21 yards on the play. And the Lions have a first down.
A gain of 21 yards. And the Lions first down.
Shotgun snap here to Goff. Gets everything he has under this one. That one connects. And he's going to be hauled down to the 2. That sets up first and goal.
Now, right there, that's what you want to see on your opening drive. Boom! Connect on a big shot, and instantly you set a tone that you're not going to be afraid to be aggressive in this game today. Boy, do I love that.
We send a man in motion. Gibbs. Runs it in. Touchdown, Detroit. The Lions don't need long to take a 6-0 lead. It's a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. For the offense, you gotta love it, Brock. Points to begin the game as he runs it in for an opening drive touchdown.
And you've got one very happy running back right over there on the sideline right now. These backs, they do feel the pressure to find the end zone every single week. It's not easy to do. But to do it this early and get out of the way, big time.
Now it's Jake Bates for the extra point. The point after splits the upright. And the Lions will jump out to a 7-0 lead. Fox now to kick this one away. Has this at the 6. And in the end, he's able to get it to about the 25-yard line before he's hauled down. All right, working from the gun to start. First and 10. Out of the gun, here's Jackson. Not enough on this throw. It hits the turf instead of his man.
They would sure love to connect on some of these intermediate throws, those chunk throws. Getting a completion like that, well, not only does it spark your offense, but it just sets you up for even more aggressive play calling.
Another try from the 25. It's 2nd and 10. Play action now with Jackson. Nothing there left side as it ends up incomplete. That was Zay Flowers, the intended receiver. And things look tougher now with 3rd and long.
Kate, I think that's a little taster, a little entree of what's to come for this wide receiver. He's going to have to make some plays into some contested coverages, and he couldn't do it right there.
Jackson now on 3rd. Oh, someone stepped in. It's intercepted. Terrion Arnold has it. All right, defense did its job. Forced the offense into a 3rd and long, and that, in large part, partner, led to that interception.
Such a dichotomy, Kate, in so many ways. Offensively, we hear all the time what? Stay on schedule, avoid these situations. Defensive coaches, you know what they say, earn the right to rush the passer, earn the right to make them one-dimensional, and when you do, go pay it off. And they did in the biggest of ways with that huge INT.
4 yards on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6. At the Ravens' 40-yard line.
Again, it's Gibbs. And he'll have a small 4-yard chunk there. Put there by Mike Green.
Some offenses, well, they prefer to go run in that RPO situation. It's a safer call, a little more conservative. But in this case, it gets him just as many yards as a short completion would have.
Short yardage situation here. It's 3rd and 2. Throwing now on 3rd and 2. And there's a man there. It's intercepted. Kyle Hamilton with the pick. And the Ravens will take over as he records his first interception of our season.
Their first pick of the game comes at an awfully big moment. Really, it just cancels out all the great work your defense did to give you that ball.
Ravens to the line now. 1st and 10. Drive begins with Henry. And he powers through the middle for a gain of 4.
That is simply a stay on schedule kind of run. Nothing more, nothing less, just right on schedule.
It's now 2nd and 6.
They'll come up after that 4-yard gain. It's 2nd and 6. Another run for Henry. He swarms in the middle. This gets maybe a yard. Taken down by the first-time All-Pro. That was Kirby Joseph.
Okay, that's a run that's ho-hum on the stat sheet, but if you see a bigger play on the ground later on, it'll largely be because of a play just like that one, softening up the front and opening the door for a bigger gap in the future.
That's going to do it for our first quarter here on Monday Night Primetime. The Lions out in front. Back to the bank in just a moment. Back at beginning of the second quarter. Ravens in possession. They have 3rd and 4 to start out.
No, we changed it. 13. Hey, report.
From the gun, Jackson. Complete beyond the marker. And he's tackled with the first down yardage.
It sure seemed like he knew exactly where he was going with that right off the snap.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
First down from the 42. Now here's Lamar. Dialing up a receiver screen. And he's going to be hauled out on a gain across midfield down inside the 45-yard line. It's 16 yards on that play. And that's good for a Ravens first down.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Shotgun snap to Jackson. And he's going to be touched down about 3 yards shy of the marker.
I'm not going to lie. I know they got a completion, and completions, you never turn them down. But to make that throw for those yards into double coverage, that's way too much risk for that reward.
Offense still line. This is 2nd and 4.
Shot.
Lamar throwing again. Has him on a quick hitter. And he runs this to the 25 before being brought down. 12 yards on that play, and a good call nets him the first.
They like to say it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a first down.
You keep this drive moving, partner. Here's another 1st and 10.
Hey, come on.
Here's Henry running left. Can't slip that initial tackle. Stops made for no gain on that first down play.
Sometimes you just feel like in the background of every ho-hum run is a bigger play that just needed one more component. Get that extra block a little longer. Find the lane quicker. The defender may be a half step late, and this could have been much, much more exciting.
Last run, not a lot of help, Brock. 9 to go now on 2nd down.
Go ahead. Report. You at X.
Lamar back to throw. It's his running back. Gain of about 8 here. Nice pickup, but he stopped a second before he can move those chains.
You know, you compare and contrast stats over the decades, Kate. One thing you see is the completion percentages are through the roof. In this day and age, compared to the 60s and the 70s, a big reason is just completions like that. Utilizing every one of your eligible receivers that time, running back in the flat.
5 yards on that play and enough for a new set of downs.
You know, Kate, they say a dog is a man's best friend. Tight end that moves chains on third down, that's a QB's best friend.
So a new set of downs. Here we go. 1st and 10.
180. Sit out. 180. Sit out.
Here's Henry on the option. So some defensive initiative in that goal to go, Brock. They take him down behind the line. 2nd and goal coming up.
Sit out.
Tackle made back at the 13-yard line.
180. Right out. You.
Now we are still waiting for the scoring for anybody really to get going as we've hit our 2-minute warning. More on Monday Night Primetime in just a moment. Everyone's prepped. It's 2nd down now.
Alpha, sit out. 180. Sit out. 180. Yo. Alpha.
Now it's Lamar. Short pass brought in. And he's tackled for a short gain. Clock's still running as the Ravens try hurrying everyone up.
Makes it 3rd and 11.
Hey. 180. 180. No, we changed it. 180. We changed it.
Here he goes. 3rd and long. He brings it in. And he's out of bounds before he can challenge for that marker. It's 4th down. Tyler Loop after the Ravens to attempt this field goal. Pretty automatic look for him from the left.
25-yard attempt.
Loop knocks it through. And they're able to get 3 points off that turnover.
Hey, facing a deficit that's going to follow you into halftime in that locker room, they will welcome those 3 points and a little bit of feel-good momentum.
They've cut the lead to 4 as they send it away. Fielded at the 7. And he gets across the 30 before he's brought down. First and 10 from the 32. They'll start on the ground with Gibbs. And he'll be stopped after just about a yard. 2nd and 9 coming up.
I don't think that's the amount that they were looking for there, Kate. Going to lead to some shuffling around here in the playbook. Find a more aggressive call on 2nd.
Last run only gained a yard. That means it's 2nd and 9.
180.
Out of the shotgun. Goff. Double coverage. Ooh, don't want to do that. He's there for the interception. And the Ravens are going to have it. And he's going to hang on to that football. That's his first career interception. Well, they've still got the lead, Brock, but they've been unable to find any separation. And now a couple of drives in a row have ended with interceptions.
Might not have cost them the lead quite yet, Kate, but you just know this offensively. Right? You just continue to make mistakes, errors, turnovers. You give your opponent life. That's not the place you want to be.
Great spot to start a drive in here. Ravens headed up 1st and 10.
Hey.
Now Jackson off the play action. This is Cox. That's Walker. It's a Baltimore touchdown. The Ravens get some late points and the lead. It's a Tez Walker touchdown.
That's some good old-fashioned playground football. Even at the elementary school, find the fastest kid and let him run.
An extra point is up and through by Luke. And the Ravens push their lead to 3.
Lions 7. Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
All set up. Here's Luke to kick it away. And that one's going to skip across the goal line and into the end zone. So the football will come back out to the 20. The Detroit offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10.
180. Hey, lift. Tiger. Turbo.
Shaking off the pick quickly. He's going to throw. Completed over the middle. And some excellent work to drive them all the way up past the 30-yard line. Now the Lions calling timeouts. They're first. They'll have 2 left to work with before halftime. First down now, ball at the 33.
At the 33-yard line.
80. Ric Flair.
From the gun, Goff. Has a man downfield. It's Laporta. And he will stop him as he gets this down to their 39-yard line. Detroit calls timeout. It's second. And they still have 1 in their pocket for what's left of this half. So fresh set of downs now from the 39.
First down, Detroit.
5. We go. 72 first.
On first down, it's Goff. Oh, he got hit as he was throwing, and unsurprisingly, it falls incomplete. Second down coming up.
Fairly safe to say as that one falls incomplete this first half so far, it's not met the standard they set for themselves.
So it's 2nd and 10 now. Ball still at that 39-yard line.
We go tonight.
Gibbs now from the gun. He has it to the 23-yard line as he's brought down. Lions really moving with a sense of urgency. Clock keeps running. First down throw from Goff. And through the back of the end zone and out of bounds.
There was almost no resistance offered against the rush that came off the line ready to maul anything in sight. It was all the QB could do to get rid of that before he gets absolutely clobbered.
Still 10 to go. Second down now from the 23. Goff setting the throw. Caught just shy of the goal line. And that's a huge hit there, but he's still able to power through enough for a 1st and goal. All right, timeout taken by the offense. 5 seconds left, and they can take some points into the locker room on this final play of the half.
At the 3-yard line.
4 downs now to get in. Here's 1st and goal.
180. What's up?
Looking end zone, but touchdown denied. Knocked away, incomplete. Great play defensively there to just get a hand in there and deny that touchdown.
That's exactly right. Active hands and aggressive mindset. As a DB, you've got to assume that every throw is going to be a touchdown, and you're the last line of defense, the guy that's got to make the play on the ball, and he just did.
Bates kick is up and good. And that's going to tie us up just before halftime.
Barring a surprise or a miracle here in the final seconds, Kate, looks like we're going to have a tie and a whole new ball game to begin the second half.
So we'll see if it's a kick return that ends our half, or if we get a play from scrimmage as this one's away. So it's a touchback on the kickoff, and we're going to get one final snap here in the half.
At their own 35-yard line.
the final play of our first half.
Get it! Back going!
Just before halftime, we get a timeout. Take it. Here comes the final play of our first half.
Here we go, here we go! 70, ready.
This one's a little touch pass forward to his man coming across. And he stopped on a nice gain on what is the final play of this first half. So that's the halfway point of this edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Brock and I will be back right after this. Well, we're set up for an incredible second half. All tied as we kick it away here in quarter number 3. Return coming from the 6. And that's going to set them up just beyond their own 20. All right, Lions just about ready. 1st and 10. A give to Gibbs to start the 3rd. And they will finally catch up to him just a second before he could reach that 40. He picks up 15 on the play. And that is good for Detroit first down.
A gain of 15. First down, Lions.
Goff tosses it quickly out wide. And they'll stop him here, but not before he gets out to the 47-yard line. That's an 11-yard pickup, and it gives them the first down.
Sure seems like he knew exactly what he wanted, and he got it going right where he wanted to with the ball off the snap.
We put a receiver in motion left.
First down.
Here's Goff on 1st and 10. That one is incomplete. Couldn't hang on through the contact. Looking for Sam Laporta with that one. And now it's 2nd down.
No surprise to see the quarterback go back to that well. That security blanket that's been his tight end all game long. But finally, this defense has an answer.
After the incompletion, they come up on 2nd and 10. Enough to Gibbs from the gun. Down to the 44-yard line as he nearly picks up the first. A dose of the hurry-up offense here.
A gain of 9 brings up 3rd and 1.
3rd down run by Gibbs. And what a play. They never gave him a shot to get that single yard. He's going to lose some yardage. 4th down coming up. Man, some of these middle backers are so impressive these days, Brock. No problems at all for him to range downhill and cut that play down behind the line.
Kind of the calling card of the position played today. They're not as big as they once were, but boy, can they run. As you said, whether it's downhill or sideline to sideline like that.
On comes Jack Fox to handle the 4th down punt for the Lions. And he's got a good chance to really stick him deep his first time out. He was only needed twice in last week's win, and he gets this one away. Baltimore offense to the line now. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Jackson. Dumped off to his running back. This gets forward to around the 29. DJ Reed brings him down that time.
It's sure nice to have that safety valve. Sure nice to have a running back that's not just able to tote it, Kate, but he's able to catch it. That's now multiple times they've looked his way, and multiple times he's delivered.
Lamar now from the gun. That one's complete, right side. And he's out of bounds beyond the 35-yard line.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 1.
3rd and a lone yard coming up.
You.
Looking to throw on 3rd and 1. Defender arrives right as the ball does, and the hit knocks it free. Incomplete.
This defense, they had a plan, and they did an excellent job executing it. Instead of a main character, they've reduced this receiver to a footnote. Kudos to the job collectively on defense.
Wow, tremendous punt here. This one's looking great, angling towards the sideline.
The Lions take over 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
The Detroit offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. Williams coming in motion right. On 1st down, it's Gibbs. Continuing to move past the 45. Jahmyr Gibbs. He will go. Touchdown, Detroit. The Lions take the lead on the first play of the drive. It's a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. Bates now for the point after. Extra point set right down the middle. And the Lions break that tie and now lead by 7. Fox now to kick this one away. Has this at the 6. And he's walloped just as he gets across the 25. What a hit. He's down shy of the 30. Offense into the shotgun set as they line this up. 1st and 10. Play action. Here's Jackson. That one's cut along the left sideline. And he's going to be brought down here at the 42. It's a great pickup. 16 yards, and now they've got 1st down.
You know, Kate, you'll find teams go to this crossing route concept sometimes a dozen times a game. A lot of times it's for shorter yardage, but sometimes teams break in the right coverage for a much bigger impact play, just like that.
Their dominance against this ground game rolls on, Brock. Add another stop to what's going to be some real nice film for them to watch.
How many times do you think in your lifetime, Kate, you've heard from a defensive coordinator, job number 1 is?
Stop the run.
And they've been doing it.
Now the Lions calling a timeout. They're first. As that'll leave them with just 2 to use the rest of the way. All right, here we go. 2nd down. From the gun, Jackson. Andrews has it, working downfield. And a great play is brought to an end as this one reaches the 35-yard line. Gain of 26 yards there. And that's going to be a Baltimore first.
Hey, come on.
Lamar off the play fake. Buying some time right. Going deep here for the end zone. He's got it down the sideline. And look at the footwork there. Touchdown. The Ravens cut it to 1 late in the 3rd. Mark Andrews with the touchdown. Here's Luke for the point after. Right down the middle. It's good. And the Ravens make it 17-all. So we've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. Return coming from the 6. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down.
their own 20-yard line.
First call here coming from the shotgun. Drive begins with Gibbs. Nice cut back to the... He's off to the races! And he will get this to the end zone for a Detroit touchdown. The Lions take a lead just before the end of the third. It's a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. His third of the game on the ground. Bates tacks on the extra point. And the Lions break that tie and now lead by 7.
Ravens 17. Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Fox now to kick this one away. Here's a return from the 7. And in the end, he's able to get it to what used to be a touchback. It's at the 25-yard line. Ravens to the line now. 1st and 10. Henry gets it here to start the drive. He's going to be stopped right around the 37. It's a gain of 12 on that one. And that's good for a Ravens first down.
A run like that, Kate, it just gives everybody a little bit more bounce offensively because you also know it can set the table for more.
We've set it downs from 37. All right, we've reached the final quarter of Monday Night Primetime. It's the Ravens' ball. They come in trailing, but that lead is within reach. We've set it downs from 37. Going to the ground again on first. And he can only manage 1 yard. The defenders were at the ready to bring him down.
Okay, this is why you got to be careful to just run it always on first down. You got to break your tendencies. The casual fan, well, the casual fan knew what was coming, but more importantly, this defensive front did too.
Last run, not a lot of help, Brock. 9 to go now on 2nd down. Shotgun snap to Jackson. That's completed right side. And he pushes this down to the 42 before going down. They get 19 on that pickup. And that's going to be a Baltimore first.
1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Jackson keeping it himself. And he works his way for a gain of 4.
The difference right there, Kate, between that gain and a big hit for a loss, really quick decision-making. He made a quick read, saw the running back was going to get hit if he handed it, and he pulls it himself for a positive gain.
Trying to throw this from the gun. Pass pulled in by Henry. And not much doing. He stopped quickly. Offense in the hurry up here.
2 on the play. Brings up 3rd and 4.
Hey, middle. Hey, report. Hey, Ozzy, sit up. You.
Now Jackson on 3rd down. Lester finds the football complete. And in for the Baltimore touchdown. The Ravens now trail by just a point in the 4th. So they punch it in for 6, Brock, and now a conversion away from tying this game back up.
This one just has the feel, doesn't it? The makings of a one-score game in the 4th quarter that could go either way.
That one splits the uprights. And the Ravens bring it back to even.
Tyler Luke to kick off for Baltimore.
Now after after tying this game up. They're all set to send her away. Has this at the 6. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down.
At their own 20-yard line.
All right, Lions just about ready. 1st and 10. Off the gut they go with Gibbs. Up to the races, middle of the field. And he will score. Touchdown, Detroit. The Lions take a 4th quarter lead. It's a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown. His 4th total score of the game. Bates now for the point after. The point after splits the uprights. And the Lions break that tie and now lead by 7.
Ravens 24. Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Fox now to kick this one away. Return coming from the 6. Only manages to get this back to the 20 before he's taken down.
At their own 20-yard line.
Baltimore offense to the line now. 1st and 10. Out of the gun, they'll give it to him inside. He's taken down just a couple of yards shy of the 40. That'll go for an 18-yard gain. And that's good for a Ravens 1st down. Quite the start to that drive, huh, partner? First play sets him up at the 38.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line.
1st down, here's Lamar. He had it for a moment, but a great defensive play to jar it loose. Incomplete.
Once that quarterback broke the pocket, it kind of turns into like a zone read option a little bit, Kate. You got a couple choices. Keep it yourself or try to force the throw. There was nowhere to go. He really should have used his legs.
After the incompletion, still at the 38, it's 2nd and 10. Out of the shotgun, they'll give it to him inside. Stop is made as he drives this to the opposing 43. A 19-yard pickup, and that's going to move the chains.
That's just not the guy defensively you ever want the open field. Frankly, with the amount of space he had at one point, they're lucky to have limited to the gain they did.
1st and 10. Here's Jackson. Escapes the pocket. And he just hucks this one away. Wasn't going to risk a throw or force something. It brings up 2nd down.
Kate, I got to believe he harkened back to that earlier pick and thought the better of making another. Getting outside the pocket, he was either going to try to run for it, had nowhere to go, so he simply threw it away.
2nd down, still 10 to go after that incomplete pass. Throwing again is Lamar. Gets it downfield, on target to Flowers. And they will take this into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. The Ravens now trail by just a point in the 4th. Zay Flowers, the touchdown. On for the PAT, and a make would tie us up late. The kick is good, so this game now hinging on every possession as we're tied up in the 4th. So we've got a tie ball game now as they send this away. Showing a little burst so far. He's racing past midfield. And they finally bring him down after a huge run back into their territory.
You know, Kate, it's fun talking to these elite kick returners over the years and how much they visualize. As they're sitting back there waiting for the kickoff return, they're visualizing, well, a house call. And there was some serious explosiveness from him on that one. He may not have gotten all the way to the house, but he's setting his offense up in the red zone, which is pretty darn good.
The Detroit offense to the line. Here's 1st and 10. Straight ahead with Gibbs. And his effort results in maybe 2 yards, but nothing more. He gets a couple on 1st, and they'll come up 2nd and 8. That's the 2-minute warning here from Baltimore. Lions going for the win here. Eight yards to go. Let's see how they approach this 2nd down. Another one for Gibbs. Now even a great game is going to have its lesser moments. You can't get anything out of that carry. Stop for no gain. Well, listen to this crowd. They just showed it up on the big board, Brock. He is now the single-game rushing yards record holder.
It's pretty cool, Kate. I was there in person when this record was broken the first time many, many years ago. Sean Alexander in a monsoon. To see it then and now get to call it right here next to you in the booth, pretty special stuff.
It's a nickel set for the Ravens. 3rd down.
20.
Throwing now. It's on target to Williams. And he's going to have enough for the 1st down. Not by much. He got it. That's all that matters. Sets him up with a 1st and goal.
You know, they call that the money down for a reason, because you're just simply not going to last long in the NFL if you don't convert a good portion of your 3rd downs. It's the money down.
And they're going to do it, Brock. They break the tie in the final minute. It's a touchdown. So how about the determination there? This game has been as hard fought as you will see. But they grab hold of the lead here with a late touchdown that may just win in the ballgame.
You could almost feel them saying, Kate, we don't want overtime. Let's go out and get it done now. They accomplished their goal. But you do have to ask the question, do they leave too much time on the clock? Stay tuned.
He fields it from the 8. And he's going to take this return out of bounds.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
All right, working from the gun to start. 1st and 10. Setting up to pass. Fits it through the middle. And he is hauled down right at that midfield stripe. Now the Ravens are going to use the 1st of their timeouts. And they still have 2 available for them as we approach the end of this game.
1st and 10 at the 50-yard line.
2 timeouts remaining and some time left to use them. It's 1st and 10.
Yo. Hey, report.
Here he is to throw. Looking slant route, complete. And they're not going to have to burn a timeout. Smart play here. He gets out of bounds with the 1st down.
Boy, they sure found the right route at the right time to hit the soft spot in that coverage. And that slant, it goes for big yardage.
In quite the time crunch here, Brock, but still 2 timeouts to burn. It's 1st down.
All right. 180. Ready, shot. Hey, Ozzy. Shut up. 13. Shut up.
Back to throw. Dumps it off to his running back. And on 1st down, only gets about a yard here. And the defender there to force him out.
Some certainly do it better than others, Kate, but every running back in the league today has got to do just that. You cannot be a one-dimensional back in the league anymore. You can't. You got to be able to handle your business, both toting the ball as a runner, and really importantly as a check-down outlet on short throws.
Yo.
He'll look to throw it. Moving it to his running back. And he's brought down. They're going to mark him at the 14. Now we're going to have a timeout taken by Baltimore. It's second. And they're still going to have one left at their disposal. Offense to the line for first down, conscious of that single timeout they've got remaining. Looking inside the red zone. This one's caught. And they're going to be set up with first and goal as this goes out of bounds, Brock, at the 3-yard line.
You know, they really love that drag route because he's one of those guys that count on not only to make the catch, but create after the catch. If they don't close on him quickly, he can add a lot of yards before someone tracks him down.
Jackson yet again. Getting out to his left. And that's incomplete with 7 seconds left. Time for one, maybe two more snaps. Ball and defender arrived at the exact same time there. It's second and goal.
There's a lot of studies done every offseason, Kate, about the best red zone offenses. And typically, it's about creative quarterbacks doing just what he tried to do right there in extending the play out of the pocket. The problem is there was just nowhere for him to go with the ball.
Ali. And he's not going to reach the end zone. They bring him down at the 1. And with 4 seconds remaining, they're going to take a timeout.
Now we get to a very interesting call on third down. Kind of a crescendo to this drive. Can the defense rise up knowing there is no margin for error? Just a single yard to go.
And it's incomplete on third and goal. That one intended for Mark Andrews. And now it's decision time on fourth and goal.
As I watch practices today, Kate, both college and professionally, one thing is abundantly clear. Teams spend so much more time in the red zone. They know it's the money zone. And defensively, if you can force incompletions and knock it away and leave teams for field goals, you've got a great chance to win.
180! Nice shot! Go. Go right here. You at X. You at X. Nice shot.
Run it up the gut. And with no time left, he takes this into the end zone. Down to their last breath, Brock, and now they can tie it or go for the win. I still don't think everyone has quite processed that touchdown as time expired, Brock, but they don't have time. They've got to make the biggest decision of the game right now. Do you force overtime or do you go for this win?
Well, you said a key word right there, processed. And this is a process. You spend the week planning it, you got the numbers behind it, but ultimately, Kate, this comes down to gut and feel. I say it every time in these moments. You've had to use the last 4 quarters to make this decision, and it better not have been right in the moment. You better have made it before this drive began.
Nice shot. Hey, Ozzy. Hey, report. Report.
Here he goes, one final shot. And he has it in the end zone. Oh, what a perfect call. They just won this game. So in front of the flock of fans in the stands, the Ravens get the win at home. Man, they were facing a top-5 defense this week, Bronk, but they made them look anything but. What a great performance to get this win.
Yeah, you can come in, Kate, with this awe and mystique of, gosh, we're facing one of the best defenses in the league, but as soon as you get those first points, you realize, you know what?